I'm Whitney Ward. Well, the general election now less than 2 weeks away. And did you know Washington voters can track the status of their ballot after it's submitted? This is just another way to make sure that your ballot is secure. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is joining us here live in the studio tonight to explain how you can do this. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, Whitney, Washington voters no longer have to wonder if their ballot was delivered safely. You can now track its status online at votewa.gov. It takes about 3 to 5 business days after submitting your ballot to see its status. So here's how it works. On the VoteWa website, you can simply enter your first and last name and birth date. That takes you then to a new page where you can confirm your voter registration status, and then you can track the status of your ballot, including when the ballot was sent, received, accepted to be tabulated, or challenged if there's an issue with the signature. Now, a challenge like this happens when a voter forgets to sign their ballot envelope or there was a problem matching a signature with one on file. So in that case, a letter is mailed to correct the signature issues.
So that status should be current within 24 hours of the last step that occurred. Getting information from the system into the public system actually goes very smoothly.
Now, once your ballot is received, election voters remove it from the signed return envelope before it gets tabulated. That way your vote always remains anonymous. Now, this online tracking tool is just one more reason to vote early. Now, you can also use the VoteWa website to view the voter's guide, generate a replacement ballot if you've lost the original, and locate the ballot drop box that is nearest to you. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you very much. And because we now are less than 2 weeks out from the midterm election, if you are a Washington voter, you should have received your ballot in the mail by now. In Washington, you have until next Monday to update your voter information online, but you can still make changes in person at any county elections office until election day itself. In Idaho, today was the last day, or still is the last day, for registered voters to request an absentee ballot. The last day for early or in-person absentee voting is next Friday. Both states allow you to register and vote on Election Day on November 8th. If you would like more information on the issues that will appear on your ballot or the candidates, just text the word VOTE to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you our exclusive KREM 2 election guide. And KREM 2 News is committed to bringing you in-depth election coverage. This Sunday, make sure and join us for the U.S. Senate Town Hall taking place between incumbent Patty Murray and challenger Tiffany Smiley. That town hall will be happening live in Seattle starting at 5 p.m. and we will be carrying it live right here on KREM 2 as well as KREM.com and KREM 2 Plus. You can download KREM 2 Plus right now on Amazon Fire and Roku. For instructions on how to download the KREM 2 Plus app, just text the word KREM 2, no spaces, to 509-448-2000. Meanwhile, a growing number of communities are considering a new idea of letting 16-year-olds vote in local elections. That organization is called Vote 16 USA, and it wants to get teens involved in politics before they turn 18. Right now, 5 towns in Maryland are already doing it, and it passed recently in Berkeley and Oakland, California, although it has not yet been implemented. It is also on the ballot in Culver City, California. Some people, though, question if teens may not be mature enough to cast their vote before they're even an adult.
A lot of people seem to think that young people will just vote based on how their parents want them to vote. What's been your response to that?
Yeah, the research simply doesn't indicate that youth voting is a mirroring of what their parents have done.
Vote 16 USA is currently pushing for communities in Michigan, Massachusetts, Hawaii, and Washington, D.C. to consider similar measures. All right, friends, we have made it to Friday. Actually, it's really beautiful out there right now, perhaps a little bit chilly, but all in all, not bad for the end of October. We want to turn now to our chief, Jeremy Legoo, as we talk about Halloween.
Oh, Halloween. It's a thing, Whitney, I'm telling you.
I always loved that.
I didn't know. I guess I'm late to the party.
Okay.
Whitney, good news. Things are looking a little bit better as we get into Halloween. I know, right? Forecast is starting to shape up. Right now, we sit at 53 degrees. We're going to call that warmish. It's above average for this time of year, believe it or not. What is going on at Riverfront Park? I feel like if I said that in the newsroom would just yell at me. So Here it comes. I'll know within the next 10 minutes. But right now, wind gusts are dying down. This graphic doesn't really want to cooperate. So next one. All right. Overall atmospheric pattern still favors that ridge that's kind of moving out of the region. As it does so, it kind of opens the door for a little bit of activity to try, but not actually happen. Tomorrow, I think we wind up partly cloudy, wind up seeing more breaks in those clouds than not. Our next chance of rain doesn't really return to the forecast until all the way on Sunday. So over the course of the next few days, it is actually not looking too bad. We're going to see a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to find one. There it is. One more graphic. All right. Saturday, partly cloudy and dry. Sunday, chance of showers and breezy.
Okay, I'm thinking that they're getting ready for tomorrow's Halloween stuff downtown.
Oh, yeah.
They've got the free Loof carousel rides going on, and that's tomorrow. And same with the Spokane crawl.
Ooh.
And I'm looking here, and there's the Safe Fall Family Fest, all that stuff going on in the park and downtown.
See, I knew as soon as I said it out loud. We're in news.
There you got
Somebody
answers.
Knew.
That's right.
Thank you, Whitney.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, let's go Spokane. We are sharing a story that might impress you much, right? Do you see what we're doing yet? 5-time Grammy award-winning artist Shania Twain is coming to Spokane. Her tour will kick off on Friday, April 28th at the Spokane Arena. It's her first stop before she heads to cities all across the globe for 48 additional concerts. Her tour follows the release of her new album, Queen of Me, which comes out in February. Tickets will go on sale next Friday at 10 a.m. through Tickets West. Also looking ahead to Sunday, the Day of the Dead celebrations return to Spokane. Day of the Dead is a holiday that originated in Mexico. It's meant to be a celebration of life and death. The event will be held at the Hazen and Hager Funeral Home in Spokane Valley. It's organized by the Spokane Hispanic Business Professionals Association. The Spokane Police Department and Regional Emergency Communications Department, otherwise known as SHREC, are now changing the way that 911 calls are received. Starting on Monday, October 31st, SHREC will still answer 911 calls, but they will only dispatch police and fire in urgent matters. So if a crime is in progress or someone's having a medical emergency, first responders will deploy. For calls that are not as urgent, the SHREC dispatcher will stay on the line with the caller and then forward their information to the correct department to check on later. SHREC says it sometimes gets up to 80 911 calls every hour, and police and fire dispatchers simply do not have the capacity to field all those calls right now.
For the emergency calls where it's in progress and there is an imminent threat, there should be no change to the way that those calls are processed. Where the public may notice a difference is going to be in the lower acuity calls. So perhaps a suspect has left, something did happen.
The Spokane Police Department says these changes are just to help them navigate staffing shortages that they're seeing right now. When the statewide vaccine mandate is lifted on Monday, unvaccinated firefighters and police officers who were working as dispatchers can now go back to their previous duty on the streets, which means SHREC will take on that additional work. SHREC is encouraging people to use the crime check number for crimes that are not an emergency. And that number, just for your reference, is right there at the bottom of your screen. Also a top story tonight, Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced the state COVID-19 emergency order will end next week. The governor's office shared that while the COVID pandemic remains due to vaccinations, medical treatment, and the efforts of Washingtonians, Monday will be the last day under an official emergency declaration. According to the CDC, Washington has the 5th lowest death rate nationwide. The governor's office attributes that to the emergency order. Most of Washington's counties also currently have low community transmission levels besides Ferry and Pacific County. Those counties right now sit at moderate community transmission. Tonight, the Grant County Sheriff's Office is extending a health advisory for residents outside of Moses Lake. This is after a fertilizer plant fire released toxic chemicals into the air. We're told sulfur dioxide was detected in the air, and exposure to that chemical can cause a lot of irritation to eyes, nose, and throat. The plant caught fire Sunday afternoon. It burned to the ground within hours, but it has continued to smolder now for days. And people are asked to continue avoiding that area if they can and wear a well-fitted KN95 mask if you are going to be nearby. Still no word yet on how that fire started. We do have an update tonight, though, to a stabbing that happened earlier this week in Spokane Valley. At this hour, we know the teenage victim is still hospitalized, but in stable condition. The stabbing itself happened near the Spokane River near East Indiana Street. That was on Tuesday afternoon. The victim described the suspect as a white man in his mid-30s, about 5'11", with a thin build, mustache, and pointy nose. He was wearing all black, they say, except for his shoes, described as Nikes with a white swoosh. If you have any information on what happened or what you may have seen, you're asked to please call Crime Check. A man is in jail tonight for stabbing a woman at a Coeur d'Alene motel yesterday. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says a woman called dispatch around 5 o'clock yesterday evening saying she'd just been stabbed by a man at a motel on Coeur d'Alene Lake Drive. Deputies arrived but found the man had left the scene. After a short search, though, they did arrest 40-year-old Brandon White. He was booked into the county jail on an aggravated battery charge. Right now, the victim's status is unclear.